Good morning, good people. Today is the 30th of December 2019. Welcome to my channel. My name is Mahali Selepe. I'm a Lesotho YouTuber based in Perth, Western Australia. Today I'm going to show you the process of baking a cake. My friend B loves baking and she's very, very good at it. So I asked her if I could record her doing the process of baking. So come join me. Sorry I'm showing you the black bean. Honestly, I wasn't looking. The idea is to show you the amazing views while I speak. Because I have not showered, I am in my gown. I look terrible. I've got a pantyhose on my head. All right, welcome guys. Let's get on to it.
I am Beatrice Mpofu, and my first experience with baking was actually back home. I remember when I was in primary school, my mum used to bake, simple scones and cakes. One recipe that comes to mind was her lemon cakes. So we had lots of lemons in the yard, so we used to take the lemons and grate the rind and everything, and then use that in the cakes. So it was really lovely and fresh flavor. Then I think probably almost 20 years later or so, I was on maternity leave with Mish, I remember. And that's when I really started loving to bake again. And then I had this aunt in the UK who loved to bake, and she was so good at it. And I called her up and I said, Auntie, can you give me a few recipes, a few tips? And that's when I really started baking.
Awesome.
Yes.
Morning.
Good morning.
If people knew how early. Yay, man. These are 6 a.m. things we are doing here. 6 a.m. I tell you, when she said 6 a.m., I was like, oh no. My heart sank because I haven't slept more than 4 hours. Like, I don't know in how many days. I think the whole full week. Like, every day I've been...
This morning, I am just going to show you how to make a simple sponge cake. And it doesn't take too long. And the key is all in the preparations, the pre-preparations.
Yeah.
Because if you get them all lined up, then it's quite quick.
Okay.
And the longest is, in the oven, probably an hour, 10 minutes or so.
Once you put everything together.
Yeah, but if you get everything out, everything's set up nicely.
Lined up.
Just 15 minutes. Threw everything in there. It was more easier to hold everything together. So first of all, I've got my apron, which I shall put on. My pretty apron.
Very, very pretty.
It was given to me as a gift.
Oh wow!
Thank you, sister.
Wow, from your sister.
You know yourself.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. I love it. It was a birthday present from Zotwa. Thank you,
wow!
Zotwa.
Hey, like she knows how to pick pretty stuff as well. Wow, that's beautiful, man.
So yeah, I love it. It's beautiful. Thank you so much. So it's coming in today. So I love this flour. This is my go-to flour. And I love this butter as well. And I think it's usually free-range eggs are better, but any eggs, absolutely fine. And key for me when baking, a scale. Or some people use cups as well. That works just fine. Fine. So what I'm gonna do now, just gonna get my ingredients out, and I usually start with the dry ingredients so that my scale doesn't get too mucky and messy.
Oh, okay.
Usually, yeah. So also handy to have some.
So that makes you making it for the cake this size.
Yes.
Okay. So you're gonna run us through the measurements.
Yeah. So basically, it's the simple Victorian sponge that I'm doing, and it's basically 4 ounces of all your ingredients. So equal ingredients, 4 ounces, and then
what's 4 ounces in
2 eggs.
metric?
I'll have to look that up.
Okay.
I'm used to using ounces.
Okay. So you convert, guys.
Yeah, you can convert.
4 ounces. Yeah.
So yeah, it's basically 4 ounces of everything, and then half the eggs, which is 2. And if you want to make it larger, you just double everything. Yeah. So I'll start off with my sugar. Just set my scale. Ah, good. Sorry, this one. And I don't tend to like my cakes very sweet because if you're gonna ice them as well, that's adding more sugar. So sometimes instead of putting the usual amount,
you put less.
I just put less. So say it's meant to be 8 ounces of the sugar, I just take out 1 ounce and make it a bit less, and that works. So I can just do 7, which I've been doing for those cakes. Otherwise standard is just 8.
Okay.
So that's 1. I'll get my sieve, put it in there. You don't necessarily have to sieve your custard sugar, but I love to do that because it just makes it adds air and helps the cake get lighter.
Okay.
Sorry, so I'm putting 8 times 2 because I'm making a big cake.
Oh, okay. I was about to ask.
So my flour now, I'm going to put 8 ounces of that.
Okay, so the same.
Yeah.
Are you doing double with this one as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So all the ingredients are going to be double.
Okay.
So that's the first lot. And now I will do the butter. So I'm doing the 8 ounces of butter as well.
Oh, so everything is 8 ounces, 8 ounces.
Yeah, it's quite an easy.
Oh, it makes it
recipe
easy,
to
yeah.
follow. But the eggs are half the number, so it will be, if you're doing an 8 cake, then the eggs are gonna be 4.
Oh.
Yeah. But I'm actually doubling that 8 recipe, so it's 16. So it's 8
okay.
flour. It's 16 flour, 16 custard sugar, 16 of everything.
Yeah.
But I'm doing it in halves.
And then the eggs are 8.
Then the eggs are 8. Yeah. So yeah, because I prefer doing it separate as opposed to just measuring the whole 16 at once.
Okay. Yeah,
to
you
make
prefer
sure I'm
doing
precise.
8 twice. Yeah, okay. Like if you didn't double it, how small would you need the cake to be?
It would probably be half. It'll probably be just
so
come up to
flatter.
there.
Oh, I see. But
Yeah.
could still the same with. It can still be the same
baking,
second.
the
baking tray.
is
Oh,
what
okay.
will determine it. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So even in this mixture here, I still leave just a little bit in the bowl, just so that it doesn't come up to a dome shape. Because if there's too much in there,
it can go up, raise up. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
so you're gonna mix it all in there.
I will. Indeed. From here, I'm just putting it in here, and I'm done. But then obviously, I'm going to preheat my oven as well. I would preheat my oven, and this cake cooks at 160 for fan.
Okay.
And 180. I think it's 180.
For how long?
Electric. Because it's a big cake, I find I'm having to add an extra 10 minutes. So it will be an hour, 10 minutes. But don't check it before the hour is up. Just less interference and things. Sometimes, especially if you're actually physically adding baking powder to a cake, it can actually flop.
Yeah,
if you open the door.
Yeah, I was gonna ask because I know about the flopping and stuff. Because my mom and my sister, they bake, so I know something about it. Okay.
Yeah. But this one I use self-raising flour, so it can still flop if you don't get the flour to the eggs mixture.
Okay.
So, yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so you best just leaving it in there once you put it in the oven.
For at least an hour, especially this big one. Obviously, when you're only doing the 8 size portion, not the 16, you can check it after 50 minutes.
Okay.
And
all
then
right.
leave it in there if it's still uncooked. And the way you check, you just take maybe an eating knife and you just pierce the center of the cake. And if it comes out clean, then
it's ready.
It's ready. But if it's still mucky and things, then you just leave it in a bit longer.
So would you say like one absolutely needs this?
Which one?
The hand mixer. Like you can't do without.
You can use your hands. It's just
but it's just
longer.
Yeah. Okay.
And
tedious and more
it's
work.
Your daily exercise.
And it's okay.
Yeah, it can.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, there's some recipes where you need to use your hands and not this.
Okay.
Especially like when you're doing what they call the folding in method. You're doing like this figure of 8. And you're using your wooden stick and you're like, folding in everything, as opposed to this where it just mixes everything up.
So under what circumstances would that be the case? Like,
where you use folding
cakes?
in method. I think usually you'll be trying to keep in as much of the air as possible in the ingredients, and using this just sort of can disrupt it, although this adds air into it as well. But there's just very sensitive recipes where you would need to just be gentle and fold everything in. I know there's a recipe I use where you have to whisk egg whites until they're almost fluffy.
I've seen that.
Yes. And then you have to just gently introduce that into your mixture, as opposed to using, because I'm a novice. Can I just put it out there?
No, to us who can't bake,
Right, now this I need to go to a window. Sorry. Basically what I should have said earlier is when you're going to sieve or when you're going to bake, always have a window open. Wonderful, your window's open. So we're already ahead of ourselves there. That's wonderful. And then when you sieve, I actually sometimes even go to the door and sieve, and that just lets extra air into the cake. And it just helps to make it a bit lighter.
Wow.
Fluffier, So I can actually feel the breeze from here, so I'm not bother going to the window. Everything is ready now. I've got my sieved flour, I've got my custard sugar and butter. I have got my eggs, 8 eggs, And I have got my vanilla essence. Okay. So I'm gonna put that away for a minute. And for my vanilla essence, I've got my spoon. Quite quickly at this part because I just want to bring all the ingredients together. And they call this the creaming method. And people use the electric one.
Oh yeah. I've seen that. Like it comes with this thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they'll still
it
stop.
just goes down. Yeah.
And they'll still stop at some point and scrape the sides.
Okay.
So I just do this with my hand mixer. In one take, we didn't rehearse anything. I might be all over the place in terms of my instructions. I didn't rehearse them. If I were making a chocolate cake, my chocolate powder would be in here as well already. I'll just sieve them together because it's part of the flour and it's measured as part of the flour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but anyway, that's for another day. So here I'm going to put half of this in. You can actually do it in thirds. So you put a third of the flour, third of the eggs, third of the flour, third of the eggs, but you mix it each time.
Why? Okay.
But I usually just do it half of the flour,
okay.
half of the eggs, but I can, yeah.
Oh, so you're going to mixing these together.
Yeah.
All right.
And you must always have the flour with eggs. Don't just mix the flour and the butter together. You have to have the liquid in from the eggs.
All right.
Yeah. So I am using 8 eggs, so I'm going to put 4 in at this point.
Okay. Okay, because you're doing half.
Yeah. But the actual way you can do it is, like I said, a third, and you divide your or you third of that each time, yeah. If you're pushed for time, just do half and half. And make sure no shells go in, because when you're having that lovely slice of cake and you're crunching on some
no, oh my days, no, no one wants that,
So at this point, obviously, you don't want your flour going everywhere. So try and, get your blender to a point where there is fluid and some flour, so that you're not just spinning around flour and half the ingredients are going in the room. So just slowly do it. And add the rest. Any spares? That's not good.
Really, that's that. How much difference would it make? Would the cake make if it missed one egg?
The eggs do tend to make the cakes lighter as well. But some people do this recipe with just the 8 eggs. I mean, with 6.
Oh,
with the 6
okay.
as the final number
Not
of
8.
eggs, as opposed to 8. That could work as well.
That's okay.
But it just
okay.
maybe subtracts a little bit from the lightness.
I'm just realizing how you match it nicely with my sofas. And your apron, there's those orange. Like.
Well, I have to sit down and have a cup of tea now. Yeah. So, can you zoom in a little bit on this mixture, Mahali? I don't know if you can. But can you see here, it's like not completely smooth. You have this funny texture. I don't know if, as compared to, what can I do? Compared to, say, here and there, can you see the difference? There.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And here, say.
Yeah.
So that sometimes shows that the liquid is not balancing with the flour. So like there's more eggs to the flour sort of thing.
Oh.
At that point, sometimes you just need to carry on mixing and make sure everything's blended together.
The same. Okay.
But at the end, if it's still looking like that, you then just need to maybe take a sprinkle of flour and just add a bit just to balance it out.
Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes that might make the cake drop at the end.
Yeah, I remember. It reminds me when my mom is baking. Like when it's like this, you just want to taste, you know. yeah, exactly.
But now I'll be like, raw egg. So I think all in all, I've probably been beating for about, my time was gone, maybe a good 5 minutes on this section to bring everything together. And a little trick I have, instead of doing that with your blades, knocking them there, I'll just turn it on low as I bring it up. And just bring it up slowly.
Oh, that's clever.
Slowly. Yeah. While it's still in the bowl,
wow.
Yeah. And then, so that's a little trick I know. Okay, so for the vanilla, you're going to, at this point, you can flavor your cake with whatever flavor you use. Right. It can be vanilla, lemon, anything. Or chocolate. But anyway, with the chocolate, like I said, you put it in the flour.
Yeah.
As opposed to here. So this is a teaspoon, 5 mils. And some people prefer less, some people prefer more. But I put about. If you're going to do an 8-ounce cake, use 3 teaspoons. But if you're going to do the big one that I'm doing, 16, then you use 6. So that's 4, 5, 6. At this point, if your baking pan is not ready, then you have to stop and get it ready. At this point, you preheat the oven. I don't interfere with the cake. I don't go, like scrape it into the bowl. I just go behind it.
Wow.
So that you're not interfering.
Does that make a difference?
All the air we're trying to introduce, it just doesn't mess about.
Yeah.
It just keeps it nice and.
Wow.
And then just put it in. And the other ones.
What do you do with the rest?
Then you can just make some fairy cakes.
Something else, yeah.
It's just for this instance where you don't want it becoming a dome-shaped cake because the pan is not big enough. So yeah, you can just make a couple of cupcakes and put it in the oven. You would then put it in your oven. And
also, you don't try to on top. You don't try to smooth it.
That's what I was trying to explain as well. It's the same concept.
Of the
don't do it in the bowl. Don't do it in here.
Yeah,
and it just helps maintain everything you've introduced.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and you don't have to. You see, like this, it doesn't seem like it's evenly spaced. Don't try to evenly space it. It will do it itself in the oven.
Oh my word! Wow.
And there you have it.
Wow.
A cake ready for any occasion.
Yes.
Then just lose yourself and be creative and decorate in a very creative manner.
Once it's done.
Which I lack and I'm trying to learn. I'm going to get a master class from Charity today.
Yeah. Oh, awesome.
So when it's in the oven, it has to be on the very lowest shelf. The lowest you can go. And that's where it should be. And the oven settings, this is the timer, so about 60 minutes to be on the safe side, and then you can add an extra 10 minutes, 60 minutes. So the oven setting, 60 minutes. Initially, I think that's the safe option, and then you can add an extra 10 minutes if needs be. And mine is fan assisted, so pointing here to the fan, and the temperature setting 160. So 160, just after the 150 mark there for me. Rough estimate should be 160, but it works for me at that point, and that's my 160. Okay, good luck. Bye. This is what the finished product will look like. And when you're decorating, you would then maybe look to slicing this into half and putting your icing in the middle. Right. Some people use cream, others use jam and cream, and then you put it back, so like a sandwich.
Wow.
And then you decorate the outer side. Or if you're making a larger cake, you can have several of these, which is what we'll be doing. And Charity is going to decorate this one. So I've made the 3 cakes, the 3 layers. Yeah, so 3 of these.
All right.
So I've made.
And that's for how many people?
Oh wow! Well, this base on its own can feed about 20 people.
All right.
So now I'm gonna have this stacked on top of each other. So 3 of these. So I've done 2 vanilla and 1 chocolate. So I'm gonna have vanilla on the base. I don't know how Charity's gonna want to do it, but maybe if the chocolate's in the
different one in the middle,
the vanilla on the top. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. So yes, so that's the other way of decorating it. You don't sandwich the one cake. You don't cut it and sandwich it, but you then stack it. So you put your icing, stack the other one, put your icing, stack the other one, and then decorate on the outside.
The whole thing.
Yes. So yeah, Charity's gonna do the magic.
Yeah. Yes. Awesome. This is beautiful. This is beautiful.
Hala, you watched everything. Thank you so much for watching everything. Now don't forget to subscribe and go back to my other videos and scroll and scroll and scroll and watch everything. There's very good things in here, very good interesting things. You are number one. Now thank you and take care of yourself.
And go start baking. 2020 is your year.